everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kat and today I'm going to be revising my song Nobody, which is part of my album Same But Different that came out at the beginning of January, and I've been revising the production of each song. Today it's the second to last song of the album. If you're interested in seeing the other songs, you can go back to my channel and see all the other ones, and you can subscribe because there's also more songs to come, not just from the album, but I think I'll be looking at other productions and maybe doing a few challenges or things like that. So yeah, okay, so for this song I started with a bit of a UK house, UK garage, I don't even know, like that was the vibe I was going for. It actually started as something a bit different, maybe I'll play it a little bit later. So let's start with the drums. I programmed a few things, but it's kind of always the same patterns playing throughout the song. So this is what the drums look like. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same. This is just at the intro, like the first part of the song. We've got a kick. It kind of always plays this pattern that I have here, like throughout the whole song. So the kick is from the 909 core kit from Ableton. And then I just use these settings. There's no like automation or anything. I have a bit of EQ here cutting under the 30 Hz, which you can't really hear anyway. But yeah, this is what mine looks like. For the hats, I've got also the 909. I've got a bit of LFO automation here, so you can see just map to these three parameters and you can see them moving throughout. And that's just so it doesn't always sound the same. And then I got a bit of phaser on the hi-hats as well. That just makes them sound slightly different with each hit. This pattern plays throughout the whole song, is just this. Then I have here as well this, it says hat, but they are actually toms, also from the 909 kit, you can see here. And this is what I've used. They sound like this. And they're layered with this snare. These are different snares I chose, and then I tried to figure out which ones I liked in the song. So I ended up going with these two. So it's a snare and a clap layered. They sound like this. Then I've got this loop, this cashmere loop here. This is what it sounds like. Layered with this clap. That has a bit of saturation, so just so it comes through the mix a little bit more. And then I have here this crash as well. Going a little bit crazy with the flanger, and that's just to add a bit of tension on the build-up, because this is the only time that the crash is playing. So altogether they sound like this. And layered as well with this drum fill, which is it's a sample from somewhere. I don't remember where. So that really fills up that build up and helps the song become a little bit more interesting here. There's also this loop here in this shaker loop here in the chorus. This is the Kashmir Shaker Loop 14. Kashmir samples, I need to stop using them at some point, I think, I don't know. But then he has so many good things and they just work, at least for my productions, they work. So I'm happy with that. Those are the drums, and then on the bass I've got a bit of saturation, I've got the API 2500, and then I've got the saturator automated to come in just for the build-up. It turns on only on this part of the song, so that part becomes a little more distorted before the chorus comes in. Then I've got some glue compression and the inflator with the effect at 100%. And then at the end I've got the mag EQ. I'm only using it mids and highs, I guess, these settings here. So that's the drums. So then the next thing here is these two. I ended up not using them. They're just like, I've got a Juno thing going on here. So this is done with just wavetable, just saw wave with a bit of filter, nothing crazy, and a bit of echo and EQ and also the filter, because this is automated in the beginning of the song. So as you can see, there's nothing, just the drums are playing here. And then this thing comes in. And it opens up. And then it closes again when the verse comes in. So yeah, that's like Juno type chords. These are the chords, always the same 3 chords throughout the whole song. And then I've got this drone here, which is a Serum preset. This is what it is. It's a factory preset from Serum 2, and this is what it sounds like. Then I've got here the same chords again, playing piano, which is the grand piano from Ableton. And then I've got another piano sound here, playing just some notes. And then here it plays octaves. So it's in the background, but you can definitely sense that it makes a bit of difference. I have the bass. Now, you might recognize this bass. I didn't know this at the time I made this song, that someone else had used. Well, I think they used the sample, whereas I'm using the preset. So if you didn't know, you can download the presets of the samples that you like. This thing here, Serum Dark Garage. So that's where it comes from. I know some people have used the sample as an advice, download the preset instead. Even if, like me, you're gonna use nearly the same notes. So I'm using only 3 of the notes because my song was already in this key, and it worked really well the way they had them. These were the notes of the sample, I think. But like, I think it's better to download the preset and try to make it into your own thing. And I added a little bit of EQ and some phaser flanger with some automation on the dry wet here. So like this, it kind of changes throughout the whole song. I've got here as well some sidechain compression and then the utility, which I ended up not using actually. So this is the main sound, and then I've got a sub as well, which is this Serum preset. So that's the sound. It normally comes without the filter, I think, or like an open filter. Let me see. Yeah, it always comes like this, so it sounds pretty good already, but I always just kind of cut it. It works really well in various contexts. I use that preset a lot. Then I've got this gated lead here. It's kind of playing the same thing that other piano was playing, this thing here. But obviously at a different octave, and it has this preset, which is a Serum preset called Pluxis, and then I've got some automations as well on the phase and the sustain and the all these things. They come already with the Serum. Like if you can see here these parameters. If you click on one of them, you can then use it here by choosing these things, and then just click on them and do whatever you need to do with your sound. And so my lead sounds like this. And then on the verse, I've got some more strings. This is just a sound from a sample pack. I think it's UK House too. The last thing I'll cover is the voice. So this is actually the original idea. I kept it just in case I wanted to use it in something else. So it's not awful, but I think the one I went with sounded a little bit better. So this is the sample. This is what it sounded like. Nobody who's gonna love you. Yeah, yeah. Nobody. I chopped it to fit my song. This is what they all sound like. I've got this first sound here.
Nobody goes on like you, goes on like you. Nobody goes on like you.
So in this way, I made it a little bit different. So, and this is really what you should do with vocal samples. You should even do more than this, really. But for me, this sounded good enough for my song. It's not the most original lyrics ever, but it was mostly a melody thing for me, and the tone of his voice as well. So the lead has just a bit of digitalis here, this with this preset, and a bit of delay. And the second layer has little altar boy and some humanoids, so they sound slightly different from one another.
Nobody.
I guess I have here some hybrid reverb as well, so a dry and a wet, so that you've got the dry signal going mixed with the wet sound. And then you just kind of blend them together. So it's a bit like using a synth, but just you're doing it in an effect rack. And then we've got here these left and right things going on. So this is the first one. So there's some digitalis on it as well with this preset and delay and a bit of aggressive auto pan. And then the second sound is drier and it has a bit of filter and the same aggressive auto pan. And then we've got these effects as well. So that has a bit of chorus and a more audible delay as well, so that every time there's a different part of the song, you can listen to that. Then on the chorus, it has slightly different things. So the first one, it only says the nobody. So this one has a longer delay time and it has humanoid and altar boy again, so the same thing really. And on the second part, so yeah, just playing something a bit different, and the last part of the chorus has this. Always playing throughout this part, and yeah, all of them have something slightly different. So cool. So that's the whole song. Pretty like straightforward project, to be honest. It's always like, oh, I didn't use a lot, but then to get to that point, actually try so many different things. Cool. So that was Nobody. I hope it was informative. And I hope it was a good video, and if you're curious about the other songs, go back to my channel and watch the other videos. There's one more song to go, it's coming next week, so subscribe if you're looking forward to the breakdown of that one. And yeah, I hope this was informative, and you can stream, and you can buy the vinyl, and everything is available on all the usual places everywhere, and I'll see you next time.